I'm just gonna get started here, I think. And I'm gonna commentate this first run as well, just in case I end up getting a good enough run to submit to GDQ, so we'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm gonna sort of commentate as if I was at GDQ, even though I'm not. I'm just sitting here in my apartment, but oh god, jumping is impossible. This is Guacamelee. It's a luchador-themed Metroidvania developed by Drinkbox Studios. You play as Juan, this agave farmer. And right now I'm on my way into Pueblucha, the first town, in order to meet up with... I don't actually know why I'm going there, I don't remember the story, but I'm going to the town, and from a speedrun perspective, one of the first things I'm going to do is a glitch called the select door glitch. It's done by entering a door and pressing select for the map, or back for the map at the same time. And essentially what it is a bit of menu manipulation, where for the rest of the game, I've sort of broken my menu in a good way. From now on, since I've done that glitch once, every time I quit, I'm not actually going to quit, I'm going to be teleported somewhere. And where I'm teleported is dependent on a variety of factors, to be honest. I don't actually know exactly why it works on a technical level. But the point is that as I go through this run, at a bunch of different times, you'll see me quitting out, or sometimes glitching the game into opening up even the main menu over gameplay. And I'll kind of point out those things as they happen. The first example of that select door glitch manipulation is here. Right when Juan gets up, I quit the game, and I'm going to spawn out here, which is faster than running out of that area. So we just saw Kalaka, the main villain of the game, and he actually killed me, so it's a good start to the speedrun of getting yourself killed. But this game deals with concepts of the living world and the dead world, so right now I'm in the dead world. Sometimes you'll just hear me refer to it as like the dark zone or something like that, because it's sort of, you know, dark and purple. But I get this magical mask, which is going to bring me back to the land of the living, and then we get to do some of the first combat in the game. In the first arena, the church arena. There's also some general movement strats I've been doing, even this early in the run, but I'll point those out momentarily. First, I want to say a word about these arenas. Arenas in this game are isolated segments the size of a screen, where you have to fight a bunch of enemies, and when you're in these arenas, the enemies that spawn are 100% consistent. Well, they're almost always consistent, I should say, in terms of where they spawn, how many enemies, the type of enemy, that sort of thing. But there is RNG on individual enemies. So, I do have to be careful about that. But as I go through these arenas, and there's a bunch of them in the run, a lot of times you'll see me queue up attacks sort of before I even before you can see any enemies, and that's because I know what's coming. But I haven't mentioned the category yet. The category that I'm running is 100%. And 100% is defined the way that, well, in terms of the speed run, we define 100% the way that the game does it, which is all chests, all quests. Right now I'm doing the first quest called Chicken Wrangling, and it's super RNG heavy, so wish me luck. I need to get all these chickens back into their little playpen. Not too bad. I think I'm going to lose a bit of time, but that's okay. Actually save time compared to my PB, not Rainbow though, but anyway, I need all chests, some of which contain money, some of which contain health chunks or stamina chunks. And I also need all skills. But there's a number of sort of interesting things that I don't need for 100%. I don't need to be all bosses. In fact, I'm going to be skipping one of them, and I'll point that out later in the run when I get there. I don't need to buy everything out of the shop. There's a shop and there's money, and I don't need to buy everything. I don't need to defeat all arenas. I don't need 100% map completion. So as far as 100% runs go, this one's actually pretty lenient. And again, it's how the game defines it. That's not like speedrunners being lazy or something. Right now, I don't have very much in the way of skills. This is a Metroidvania, so as I go on, I'll be getting more skills. Right now, I can basically just run around and jump and punch and such. One thing I can do is rolling, which is a dodge. You've been seeing me do that already. It's useful in combat because you can dodge things. I can also dodge through these red brambles and other dangerous projectiles and such. But also rolling is a bit faster than running. And if I roll into a jump, then I get to keep that faster rolling speed in midair, and then I can roll just before hitting the ground in order to queue up another one. This game kind of buffers input when you're in the air, jumps and rolls. Here's a good example, by the way, of knowing what's coming next in the arena. So yeah, you'll see me roll jumping around pretty much constantly. That won't be the case for the whole run, because later on in the run I get access to some abilities that allow me to move even faster, but for a while here, I'll be roll jumping. And you're about to see the second example of a select door glitch. You know it's a glitch because I'm gonna have the menu, specifically the main menu, open above gameplay, which means I have to be careful. Hey Dictator, hey Coil, how's it going? I have to be careful here because if I press A, ordinarily I would spam A to mash through dialogue, but if I press A here, I'll also activate the menu and everything will get messed up. So I'm actually spamming through dialogue with Y. I'm playing on an Xbox 360 controller. And this is Goatman. I don't actually know his name. His name is Goatman. And he's going to give me my first sort of legit skill in the run, which is Rooster Uppercut. One of many. And the abilities you get in this game are interesting. By the way, Coil Dictator, if it wasn't obvious, I'm commentating this for a potential, well, not a potential GDQ submission. I am going to submit it, but I'm hoping that this can be the GDQ submission run. If not, then I'll try again, but that's okay. By the way, I just teleported all over the place using my select door glitch. If you aren't familiar with this game, you probably don't know what just happened, but trust me, I just skipped a lot of the ground by teleporting. Anyway, as I was saying, the abilities in this game double as both combat abilities, and I'll be using them in combat in various ways, and also movement abilities. So this first one, Rooster Uppercut, lets me sort of do like a Shoryuken attack into the air. Oh, crap, this jump is pretty precise. Okay, we'll just go around, that's fine. Oh god. There we go. It's sort of a Shoryuken attack, lets me jump up into the air. Every skill that I get is also associated with a certain color, or most skills, so you won't really see it come into play just yet, but Rooster Uppercuts, again, the only ability I have so far, I will be getting more, is associated with the color red. So as I go on, especially into the next dungeon after this area, you'll see a bunch of red blocks, and I can break them with Rooster Uppercut. Similarly, once I get different skills, I'll be able to break more and more differently colored blocks. I should mention the area that I'm in now. It's called the Chicken Dojo, or we usually just call this guy the Combo Chicken. It's a tutorial area that teaches you... Oh god! That usually doesn't happen. Okay, that's fine. That's a rare graphical glitch that can happen. It seems to happen on my particular setup on my machine, and it happens to just about no one else. So that's interesting. Anyway, it's pretty easy to fix. You just Alt-Tab, and then you come back in. But like I said, it's very rare. I've actually never seen it happen there before. The Combo Chicken that I just got out of. It's a tutorial spot, teaches you how to do different combos. It's not the last time we'll be seeing him. In fact, you'll see that Combo Chicken a whole bunch more times throughout the run. But we'll come back to him later. This area is called the Temple of Rain, because it's raining, you know, appropriately named. It's the first sort of legitimate dungeon in the game, like a Zelda-style dungeon or something. And it's going to introduce these portals that I can use to transition between the living world and the dead world. And the reason it matters which one I'm in is that certain enemies are only targetable in either the living world or the dead world. Certain platforms are only solid in the living or dead world. Certain items are only acquirable in one or the other. So later in the run, I'll be getting an ability called Dimension Swap. Hey Bagel, thanks dude, I appreciate it. Later in the run, I'll be getting something called Dimension Swap, actually from this lady. She's going to be a boss fight, spoilers. Once I have that skill, I'll be able to transition back and forth between the living and dead world at my leisure, but right now I have to rely on these portals. These enemies are Lutzes. They are super annoying because they like to jump all over the place. Remember that I mentioned that even though enemy spawns are consistent, their RNG once they have spawned is not. Again, I already mentioned this, but pay attention to how I'm roll jumping all over the place. There's another little movement technique I can do, which is that this roll ability, it's very, very versatile. Not only does it let me dodge attacks and use... I can also use rolling to go faster, but I can use it to cancel out of my animations quickly. So, for instance, I've been doing these uppercuts. Watch how I can dodge out of it early in order to float in the air for less amounts of time and land on the platforms more quickly. I can also use it to dodge out of combat attacks in order to keep attacking even more. I'm kind of trying to run through most of the main things. Like any speedrun, there's sort of a lot to cover and not a lot of time to do it. So you're already seeing me pick up money. What have I missed? Oh, there's something that I've missed which is pretty important that probably you've noticed if you're kind of a casual viewer of this game. And that's that I'm playing the game in French. The reason is that in most games, most speedrunners will be pretty familiar with the concept of changing a game's language to, for example, Japanese in order to make dialogue boxes more rapid. In this game, though, it's French. French is fastest. Ow, jerk. That's fine. Oh, they're nice and wrangled, though. Those guys like to wander off, but since they were all standing on top of each other, I could kill them. So here's my next ability, Headbutt. Ugh, time loss, whatever. Headbutt is going to let me break yellow blocks. Like Rooster Uppercut, I can also use it in combat. I can also even use it to cancel out of things, which I'll be doing in just a few spots. It also happens to be the single most powerful attack that I have for the whole game. So since I have this ability, every arena fight from now on is sort of going to change a little bit, in that I'm going to be using headbutts far more frequently. Again, this is the 100% category, so I have to go out of my way to get all kinds of chests and stuff. This giant monster up here is called Alabrihe. In my SGDQ run last year, I totally called him... Wait, it's Alabrihe is his name. I accidentally called him Hebre. I think I called him that over and over again, and that's incorrect. Anyway, he's a giant monster. He's going to be part of an auto-scrolling sequence coming up, but first I have to fight through a few arenas and get a new skill. Here's a little example of RNG. Those armadillo enemies, they can roll at you and they sort of set themselves on fire. As a general rule in this game, you cannot dodge through fire attacks. You can dodge almost anything, but not fire. So I actually tried to bait that armadillo to run at me. It would have saved like a second, but he, you know, decided to not do that. Lady, thanks. I appreciate it. No, that's okay, Dictator. I can interact with the chat. Like I can do both. I can commentate and play. This is wall jump, but because this game has a sense of humor, it's called goat jump. But it's wall jump. Works just like any other wall jump. Next up, we have some interesting movement here. One of the reasons I like this speedrun is it's sort of similar to Ori and the Blind Forest, or I guess any Metroidvania that you play, in that movement just becomes way more fun the further you get in the run, because you get access to more and more skills. And remember that every ability you get in this game doubles as a combat ability and a movement ability. So right now I can just sort of run around and do wall jumps and do uppercuts, but later on I'll be able to do all kinds of crazy shenanigans. I'm also on my way to the second. I already went through one. We call these rooms acid trip rooms because they're sort of trippy looking, and if you touch the acid here, you don't take damage or anything, you just get warped back to the top, so it's a time loss. And I actually did both of the rooms in a sort of speedrunning way, not the intended way. I don't think I've explicitly mentioned what you're looking at on the user interface, although it should be fairly straightforward. Up in the top left, I've got my health bar. It's a health bar, you know how those work. And then underneath those yellow boxes, those are stamina boxes, I guess. Every special move I do, like a headbutt or an uppercut, requires 1 stamina. Excuse me, I burped. I just had late lunch. Get wrecked! That was really close, actually. Every move I do requires 1 stamina, and I'll be getting more stamina as I go through the run. As an interesting side note, from an optimization perspective, you don't need a full box of energy in order to do some of the attacks. You just need a sliver. So for example, if I ever need to do, and actually you'll see it coming up in a moment, I'm gonna move up through this area. You're gonna see me jump past some armadillos. Oh god, that's not how that works. It's fine. Don't hit me, please. So when I get to the top here, I'm gonna actually wait for just a moment. Well, let me actually make the jump first. I'm gonna wait to make sure that I have 2 uppercuts I wanted to do there, so I wanted to be able to have 2 stamina boxes worth of... that was a terrible sentence, let me try it again. I needed to do 2 uppercuts, so I needed enough stamina to do 2 uppercuts, but I didn't need 2 full boxes, I just needed anything more than 1. So that I did 1 uppercut and it exhausted a full box, and then I used the sliver that was remaining in order to do the second one. This is an auto-scroller, one of a few in the game. The camera isn't locked in place like you might ordinarily see for an auto-scroller, but it is an auto-scroller because I have to wait for Alabrije, this giant monster, to come break open all these platforms for me. Along the way, I'll be trying to get a little bit more money. I do have to buy a few things throughout the run, not very much. I actually already bought one thing, which is... the game's in French, and I don't speak French, but I'm pretty sure that I bought, like, stamina delay boost or something like that, where when I run out of stamina, it will now come back more quickly. I'll be buying a few things throughout the run. Read donations. This isn't Dark Souls, I can't just change my bonfire message. Thank you, Bagel. Yeah, I've gotten better at that. Thankfully, I guess like Bagel and Lady, you guys know this, but just as a general note, since I'm kind of trying to commentate this, a lot of what I've done so far is very, very similar to any percent. Because I'm doing 100%, the run really starts to deviate as I go on, as you probably expect. But so far, it's been almost identical to any percent. So the nice part is that all of my muscle memory for any percent kicks in very, very nicely. Grab some stuff here. Oh, also, if it wasn't obvious, to increase your health or stamina, you need 3 health chunks or stamina chunks. There's a little animation that plays every single time. Oh god. These are Olmec heads. It's an intended way to teleport around the game, even though I'll also be teleporting using the select store glitch. Here we are, back in, where are we, Santa Lucita. I'm gonna buy something. Competences, my French is flawless. And now we're gonna go talk to Flameface, a guy who is sad and lonely because he gets skipped in the speedrun. He's supposed to be a boss. Kind of as a general rule in this game, you tend to see bosses before you actually fight them. That was true of Shitabe, that woman with the insane hair. It's true of Flameface here. Although, like I said, we won't be facing him, and then later we get to face a final boss and you'll never guess who it is. Swag, thanks, crowd. Yeah, you can go ahead and read a few donations, that'd be great. Anyway, I'm about to get another skill. Flameface tried to shoot me, but he was out of bullets, so sad day for Flameface. This is Frog Slam, I think it's called. Again, this game has a sort of funny sense of humor. Also, as a side note, if you pay attention, there are all kinds of references and Easter eggs throughout this game. Like there's Easter eggs to Mario and Castle Crashers and Fez and all kinds of crazy stuff. I'll be rushing by them all pretty quickly, but if you pay attention, you can see them. So Frog Slam is a stomp ability. It lets me break through green blocks. So by the way, from a Metroidvania perspective, in terms of my ability to traverse the world, I can now break through red blocks and yellow blocks and green blocks. I can't break blue blocks, but I'll be gaining that ability. Actually, not for a little while, but eventually I'll get it. This is the desert, though. The hot desert, Desierto Caliente. One of the first things I'm going to do, if I do it correctly, it might not look like much. I'm going to do an arena skip. Like this. Okay. So I'm supposed to fall down there and do an arena, but arenas are slow. And so I was able to skip it by sort of doing a, I don't know what the name for it is, it's like a sort of a buffered wall jump, I think is what it is. Where actually I jump and then dodge. That's not how you do it. Okay, wait for... Oh god. That actually worked kind of well, nice. If you play this arena perfectly, you can kind of grab both of those little flowers at the same time, which I try to do. Anyway, so this desert, like any area of the game, has a bunch of chests and stuff in it that I'm going to eventually need for 100%. But I'm not going to be getting all of it now, because to get all of the content in this area requires skills that I just don't have access to yet. So I'm just going to rush through as fast as I possibly can. And then something interesting is going to happen at the end of this section, although I will be back in the desert later. Yeah, thanks, lady. Once I learned that I could... Why did I do that? That was dumb. Once I learned that I could uppercut, my life became easier. Okay, I messed this one up. That's fine. Oh, God. Or, that was a bad arena. That's fine, though. During GDQ, this would be a time where I asked the donation readers to read off some donations. Almost missed that. The tricky thing about this game for Marathon is that you can talk about the run pretty much non-stop. Yeah, that's a problem I've had with all of my GDQ runs so far, has been I don't give enough time for donations. Partly because I just honestly forget to. That's something I need to work on. But also because, I mean, there's a lot to do. By the way, this is one of my favorite arenas in the game. I think it just looks really, really cool when it's done cleanly. Oh, crap. No. Oh, my God. Okay, that's bad luck. Not too much I could do about that. Bad luck. What happened there is that, remember I mentioned that there's RNG on these individual enemies? Speaking of that, we just got that RNG. Ideally, I want all these enemies to move in sort of a specific way. Oh, God. Wow. Okay, this is not fine. Jesus, sorry, I'm getting atrociously bad RNG here. What I tried to do is group up a bunch of enemies and then kill them, but that red enemy, the big guy with the sort of rapier-looking sword, if you hit him with anything... Yeah, I guess he's called a Conquistador. If you hit him with anything except a shield-breaking attack... By the way, if an enemy has a shield, you can't damage it until you break the shield. So if I hit him with a normal attack, he instantly counters me. Oh, here's something I forgot to mention. I'm playing with the Alebrije costume. There are costumes in this game that change the way the game is played. They have certain gameplay effects. It's not DLC or anything. You just unlock it in-game. I'm playing as the Alebrije costume, which makes me do double damage and take double damage. The doing double damage part, speedrunning implications are obvious. That's a pretty rough time loss. Speedrunning implications are pretty obvious. It lets me kill things much more quickly, but it also makes me take double damage, which means that I actually get killed in like 2 to 3 hits by just about anything. And that Conquistador that killed me in the arena really messed me up. The reason he hit me is that I got bad RNG from some of the other enemies, which means they knocked me down, and then I tried to sort of get a hit on the Conquistador. Anyway, I'm talking too much about the past. I apologize for that. Now I'm a chicken. In that cutscene back there, I ran into Kalaka, the main villain of the game, and he decided that I was too pathetic to kill, so he just is going to turn me into a chicken. If you're looking at this chicken and thinking, that's not a chicken, that's a dragon, you'd be right. And it's because the costume that I have equipped also changes the look of the chicken form of the player. So chicken form moves horizontally faster than running. So for the rest of the game here, I'm going to be a chicken as much as possible when I'm moving horizontally. The downside to chicken is that it has an extremely weak attack. Chicken, along with being faster, also lets me get through these smaller little areas that are too small for me being a human. Here's a damage boost, by the way. Right now I'm stuck as a chicken, and I have no way to turn back to human, but pretty soon I'm going to gain the ability to change back into a human. That's called Pollo Power. It's going to be the next skill that I get in my little Metroidvania journey. Oh god. Please. What? That was a camera. I've never seen that before. That was a camera glitch. Did you guys see that? That's a first. This is the one and only chicken arena that I have to do. So I'm just going to kind of mash X and try to kill them. Anyway, so I'm going to get Pollo Power. Pollo Power is going to let me switch back and forth between chicken and human. It's also going to unlock one of the simultaneously coolest game-breaking glitches in the game, and one of the most challenging. That was a bad damage boost. I can damage boost once in this little arena, without dying. That was weird, yeah. Anyway. So here's El Diablo, the devil. He's going to give me Poyo power. Along with the intended uses, this is going to give me access to something called swap hopping, which is an infinite height gaining trick. Oh my god, I got Highway to Hell. Nice. Highway to Hell is a small trick that lets me move during that guy's dialogue, saves a few seconds. Swap hopping looks like this. It's done by buffering a jump while... Oh god. Buffering a jump while... Jesus. While swapping back and forth between chicken and human forms. It's not really a hard trick to do, but it's hard to do quickly enough to gain height. So far you've only seen tiny examples of it, but later on you'll see big swap hopping sections. It severely breaks the game's intended routes, because it lets me just skip up over everything. And I'll point out some of the swap hopping sections as I go. I have to go activate that Olmec head. By the way, here's the forest. You've seen this area before. But like any Metroidvania, and probably like any 100% run, I'll be back to this area a bunch of times. I have to dodge a bone here or I am insta-rip. Alright, that's fine. Good. Hey, Abby. Getting H2H on 100% but not any percent sums up your life as a speedrunner. That sounds about right. From the forest, I'm going back to Guacamelee, although now we're in dark mode, so everything's sort of dark and gloomy. I really like the way this game does the dead world. Everything tends to be more purple. Music is either in a minor key or is muted. It's pretty cool. I'm back here because I have to face a boss. Shitabe, that woman that I saw earlier. First I have to go grab that. And now I'm back on my way. Just, this will be the first legitimate boss fight of the game. Although you've already seen a bunch of arenas, so just like arenas have RNG on... Let me sort of start that sentence over. On arenas, the enemies' spawns are predetermined. I already know exactly where they're going to be, with like one or two exceptions. But I do know where they're going to be, but then there's RNG on individual enemies. The same is true of the boss. I know usually where she's going to spawn. There's a bit of RNG. But her phases are always the same. Her movements tend to be similar enough. This is also a 3-phase boss fight, so right now I'm trying to juggle her, and the way that you have to juggle her here is actually more precise than it might appear. But that's phase 1, half health. This next phase, if I do it properly, is going to be real fast. There's phase 2. And then here's phase 3. She's going to put on some new clothes in the form of shields, but I know where she's going to spawn and what shield color. 1, 2, headbutt, and then here's the third one. Oh crap. Also, every time she hits the ground, stop teleporting. Oh my god, okay. What are you doing? I should have killed her like 6 seconds earlier. That was not very good. Anyway, every time she hits the ground, she teleports. Her shield does come back after a while. Whatever. Sort of bad RNG. There's not that much I could do about it. This is Dimension Swap, the skill I mentioned earlier. It lets me freely swap back and forth between dimensions. So now that I have that skill, the run's about to get even more difficult, because now I have to deal with swap hopping and all my usual movement challenges, but also I have to swap between dimensions. Okay, so here we are back in Poblucho. I'll be going out of my way to do a bit more collecting, like so. There's a glitch there that I keep getting, by the way. I'm not sure what it is. If you pay attention, you can see a Fez reference coming up in just a few seconds. So jump up here. There's some of the Fez language at the top. You can see how swap hopping lets me gain all this additional height. Well, ordinarily I wouldn't be able to gain access to some of these areas without double jump, which is a skill I'll be picking up later. Take a quick detour into this house in order to complete a quest. Again, I can't get through this floor in the light worlds. No, I don't want to talk to you. that was the wrong person to talk to. There we go. And now I'm going to go back towards where I started the game, which is the agave fields and Juan's house. But I'm going to do something there that you probably won't expect. It's like a click. This is clickbait commentary. It's like, oh, I'm going to go back to Juan's house. You'll never guess what happens next. No, just kidding. So there are two endings to this game. One of the endings is the bad ending, where you end the game and Kalaka kills the princess and everyone is sad, and that's the ending. But it is possible to save the princess if you complete this mask. Please. There's this mask that you have to complete, and it... no, okay, here we go. It has 5 different pieces that I have to get. Or actually 6 pieces, excuse me. Sorry, it's a bit hard to talk. At GDQ, I'd probably have someone else talk during this maze, because it is a maze. And even though it's not RNG dependent or anything, I still have to remember where to go, and I also have to try to optimize all my jumps. So this mask at the end of the game, it takes 6 pieces to complete, but I get the last one after the final boss fight, which means over the course of the rest of this 100% run, I have to get 5 mask pieces, and I get all of them in these secret areas called Guacamelee. That's fine, Bagel. Sleep well, dude. Thanks for hanging out. See you later. Called Guacamelee. This is a mask piece. Like I said, I'll be getting 5 of them. Small bit of time save, that's nice. That maze was a little better than usual. And ordinarily, these Guacamelee areas are very, very difficult to find. Just kidding. Because of select door glitch, I can just glitch my way to the second one. You're supposed to have to solve all these puzzles, but once you know how to get them, it's not too complicated. By the way, that's kind of a mean split. I mean, it's like a 5-second split. And again, over and over... Nope, I don't want to go through here. Over and over again, you'll see me quitting out of the game in order to teleport myself. And here's another good example of how swap hopping kind of breaks the run. Because I'm going to be able to just sort of jump over this, rather than having to wait for moving platforms. I'll be going through here. I'm not going to complete the forest yet because I can't, unfortunately. But I can complete more of it. The forest here also happens to take me towards the next major dungeon of the game called the Tool Tree, which we'll get to very shortly. Yep, have a good night, lady. Remember that being a chicken lets me move faster than being a human, but sometimes I do have to switch back to human form in order to dodge through things, because chickens can't dodge. This is Tool Tree. I will not be going through just about any of it in the intended way, because we're dirty cheaters. This is also home to the most complex form of the select door glitch yet, which is that, and that's the one and only time I use mouse in the run, so that's fun. I went to that area, the Tool Tree. I'll be going back there very shortly, but first I have to come back here to get some things. This green goop, I think I mentioned it, it doesn't damage you when you touch it, it teleports you somewhere. So a lot of times over the course of this run, I will be abusing that fact in order to... I'll be abusing the fact that the green goop teleports you to the last place you were standing in order to sort of teleport myself back quickly. So I'm going to activate this checkpoint and quit the game. I'm going to spawn back at the Tool Tree, do a select door glitch, and then hit continue. I'm going to spawn back here again. Again, if this doesn't make sense to you, it's because it's super glitched. And then here we are. Oh god. Again, you can see how swap hopping just lets me gain all this height that I should not be able to gain. Swap hopping, by the way, is not free. It's actually quite difficult to do. Or I think I mentioned this before, but just to make it explicit, swap hopping is not that tough. It's hard to do quickly enough to gain heights because I can't just mash my swap hops. I sort of have to have a claw grip on the controller. It's kind of difficult. Here's a cool example of it, though. Good. Remember I mentioned that I have to get all chests as part of the 100% run. That doesn't mean that I need to wait for all the chests to actually, you know, collect. I can just sort of break them and move on. I'll do that to reset and then go out here. This would probably be another chance for donations at GDQ, but I'll keep talking for now. Go back out that same door, and then I'm going to swap hop up. In this little section, I switch back to... crap. See what I mean? Swap hops are not free. it is actually pretty easy to drop them. Which thankfully doesn't kill you or anything like that, but it does make you lose time. This is going to lead me straight to my next skill, which is double jump, and I don't think I need to explain what double jump does. It's double jump. By the way, if you've never played this game casually, it's actually pretty hilarious. Like, this guy makes your mom jokes, and he's always like, every time you break one of his statues in order to get a skill, he gets really angry at you. He's like, did these statues touch you as a child? Why are you doing this to me? So now I have double jump. You'll see it in action in just a moment. First I have to go grab this. And you're also going to see you might have to pay attention, it might not look like a glitch, but I'm going to do a small glitch called wall hopping, which is separate from swap hopping. It's a way to sort of stick to walls and gain infinite height on them like this. Well, no, not like that. That's not how you do wall hops. Let me try that again. That's how you do wall hops. So I'm just going to continue through tool tree and get not everything, but most things in this area. Okay. So you can imagine, probably just watching this, how you can optimize movement. For instance, if you, for certain platforms, in certain conditions, you can hold down and jump to fall through them rather than having to land. And that's sort of an interesting thing you can do. So here I'm going to cheat my way up onto another area of the game called Santa Morena, or like the mountain, or I usually just call it mountain. Okay, that's not good. This wall hopping trick is sort of difficult to do. Alright, that's fine. Kind of a slow climb. This is an area that I'm not meant to be able to get to until I do a whole other area of the game and get a new skill called Go Climb, which lets me climb up walls. But I won't be getting that until later. Actually, I won't be picking it up legitimately at all. I'm going to glitch the game into giving it to me. But first, I have to go break the game some more. Oh, God. Okay. The reason I went up to the mountain now, though, you'll notice that I went up onto the mountain and then just immediately quit out, and you might be asking why that was worth it. The reason is that it changes my objective. It changes my objective, excuse me while I focus for a minute. Okay, sorry. It changes my objective, which is important because it's going to let me, as I mentioned a second ago, glitch the game into giving me 2 additional skills rather than picking them up legitimately. And I'll explain how that works in just a moment. Before I go back into the desert here, I do a little bit of questing. There's a whole bunch of quests to do in Santa Lucita, and I'll be managing those before too long here. But first I'm going to head down and go to a secret area. I skipped this arena previously, so I have to hug the left wall in order to dodge it. Remember, I've mentioned this multiple times now, remember that chicken is faster, so I'll be switching back and forth as much as possible. But here's this guy. This guy is guarding this door. If you'll notice, it looks the same as the chalk mule doors, the ones with the secret mask pieces that I need for the run. This one costs 5,000 gold to get in, which isn't a problem for the speedrun, you always have enough, but from a casual perspective, that can be a lot. And it's going to lead me to an area that looks like a mask piece, but it's not. It's actually something else. This area is called El Infierno, which is hell. It's an area that wasn't in the original Guacamelee, but it is in Gold Edition. I'm not sure if it was technically DLC, but it's sort of effectively DLC. What the area is a series of challenge rooms that you can use to unlock different costumes and whatever. I'm not going to be doing any of the challenge rooms. I'm going to be going into one of them, but I'm going to use this area to glitch the game. So the challenge room that I'm going to enter, I'm going to sort of run over there for a while first, but while I'm running, I'll explain. Once I get into this big building over here, I'm going to go into a room which the challenge takes away all your special abilities, your uppercuts and headbutts and whatever it might be, and forces you to fight just using your fists. And then when you leave the room, it gives you those abilities back. But the abilities that it gives you back are not based on the ones you went in with, they're based on your current progress. So remember that I went up onto the mountain to change my objective. That means that when I exit the room, it's going to give me back more skills than I entered with. Specifically 2 skills, one of them Dashing Derp Derp, which is the actual name, I'm not making that up, that's the actual name of the skill. So I'm going to get Dashing Derp Derp and then Go Climb. And you'll get to see both those skills in action very, very soon. So this is the room I mentioned. I spam through text and then I just leave and then quit out. And then that didn't look like anything happened, but trust me, I now have 2 more abilities that I didn't have before. Unfortunately, I don't get to use them right away. First, I have to do Chicken Thief. This is a quest, which means it's part of 100%. It's one of these quests. It's like the puzzles with the cups and the ball. I have to guess which chicken is the correct one. There's 3 rounds of this, and any Guac speedrunner will tell you that this is just the bane of their existence, because the first 2 rounds are pretty straightforward. You know, probably if this is your first time watching the game, you could still pick it out. Oh, I forgot to split, oops. But this third phase is so difficult and so random that it's usually better to just take a random guess. And that was wrong, unfortunately, so I have to do all 3 rounds again. So this is, there is RNG throughout the whole run, in sort of small doses. As I mentioned, you can get different RNG for enemies within arenas and such, but this is like the only major point of RNG, the only thing that can really kill runs if you're going for like world record attempts or something. Because, as I mentioned, the third phase of this is just so fast that you usually just guess. And if you're gonna guess, closest is fastest. And it's not that I'm trying to be lazy in not guessing, it's that it's so difficult to track that I have had times where I was absolutely sure that I knew which chicken it was and I was still wrong. So, not much I can do about this, unfortunately. If this gets into GDQ, this would be another donation spot. I'd have to get pretty unlucky, though. Every time I do this third phase, it takes... I have a 1 in 3 shot, obviously, because there's 3 chickens, which means that I'd have to get extremely, extremely unlucky in order to lose more than a few minutes. And I was planning on padding the GDQ estimate by just a few minutes for this reason. See, I already lost it. It's just ridiculous. Fingers crossed we might get it this time. No. Okay, well, onward to try number 4. It's sort of unfortunate that this part is so tricky. I mean, it's unfortunate because the first 2 phases are so easy. And the third phase is just... The third phase, like, changes the rules in how it swaps the chickens around. It's so difficult. Okay, phase 3, here we go. I lost it. Crap. Alright, we have a 33% chance, I believe. I believe it can be done. Got it. Okay, I got it. You see what I mean? We're like, it sucks to lose that time, but it is what it is. Okay, well, there's 40 seconds time lost. I think I got it like 2nd or 3rd try on my PB. It's sort of annoying because if you get that trick first try on a PB attempt, then, you know, that's tough. Anyway, so here are blue blocks. Remember that I previously had the ability to break red blocks with uppercut, yellow blocks with headbutt, and green blocks with my stomp ability, frog slam. Now I can break blue blocks as well with Dashing Derp Derp. And this is a skill that, if you were paying close attention to the run, I never broke a statue. I never talked to Goatman to get that skill. It's something that I glitched using that El Infierno thing. And then I have one more additional ability, which you'll get to see coming up before too long. First, I have to go down into the Pollo Cavern. This is another sort of hidden area. The intended way to go through this area is I have to take an elevator up to the top and then work my way through from top to bottom down through a series of rather difficult arenas, and then eventually landing where I just did there with the chest. And then the message that you just saw, just in case you don't speak French, which I don't, just told me that a door opened. And the door that opened was the sort of entrance to the next set of arenas. But because I have swap hopping, I don't need to do a single arena. I can just jump up top and break the chests, and it's just that simple. The first 2, there's 3 big columns of arenas. The first 2 columns of arenas give you some extra chunks for your health and stamina. The third one gives you a mask piece. So this is, like I mentioned, a prime example of just how much swap hopping can break everything. Okay, so now we quit out, and we get to do Santa Lucita cleanup. So right now, I'm going to spend a little bit of time questing throughout Santa Lucita just to make sure that I have everything that I need. There's this, a lot of the quests are sort of one-off. I just sort of do a quick task for someone. That woman in there, though, is trying to bake, I guess? She's trying to create the world's greatest enchilada. I don't think you bake an enchilada, but whatever. She's trying to make an enchilada, but she needs ingredients from people all over the town. So that's what I'm doing here, is going out of my way to get those ingredients for her. I think I need like 5 different sets of ingredients. I'm gonna take a little detour here to go grab some chests first. Another example of breaking the chest and just leaving. Okay, talk to you. By the way, another sort of... Oh, right, I need to be human to talk to this person. That guy in the bottom left, his name is Error, so it's I am Error. It's like a reference to... What is that a reference to? It's just another one of this game's many, many references. So I'm almost done with the enchilada recipe. I just need to go get this from you. And then there we go. And that will allow me to clean up. Now I'm going to try a trick. When you finish a quest, your character sort of gets picked up in this little animation. And I'm going to try to skip it. I missed it. If I roll at the right time, I can sort of slide along the ground. A stick tree, thank you. From Legend of Zelda 2. I did not know that. Okay, so that's all the questing done there. And now I get to go do something that's actually very, very challenging, so wish me luck. This area is called Treetops. This is the first time you get to see the goat climb skill, which is this. It lets me just fly upwards really, really fast. It's going to take me up to the treetops. And I'm going to try something new. I'm going to take a risk and try something new. It did not work. Let's try that again. It just started lagging. I think Windows is doing something. So this area is difficult because it requires a lot of very, very difficult... okay, the game's definitely lagging. I think it's Windows. Anyway, that's not right. It's a lot of very, very difficult platforming. It also requires me to do swap hopping with my left hand. What am I doing? I apologize for this. This is really sloppy. Let me try to clean it up. Sorry about this. Apparently I'm overthinking it. Good. Okay. It's wow, really? Okay. It's a lot of really difficult platforming, and it's difficult platforming with a lot of dimension swapping and swap hopping. So not at all an easy section. In fact, one of the hardest in the whole run. Right here, I'm gonna try to go just off screen. It's very difficult to do. I have to go off screen enough that I can skip past these. Darn, okay. I have to skip past these saw blades. It's very, very precise. Almost got it, not out of the woods yet. Now we're out of the woods, good. Good. And so this is going to bring me to another mask piece. That was pretty slow, so it's going to be a pretty substantial time loss. Ugh, but you can see why that section is difficult. It's lots of... It's not just platforming, it's platforming while trying to dimension swap and whatever else. But that's 4 mask pieces, so I'm almost done. Not very much more to go. This area looks amazing, but it's so tough. Yeah, it's pretty difficult. Anyway, so now I actually get to go to the mountain. You remember that I stopped by the mountain earlier, but then I just turned around. The reason back then was that I needed the objective. Now I'm actually going to go through the mountain properly and finish it out. This area of the game I think is really fun. There's lots of very cool movement. Right here I'm going to do a cutscene skip. Skip the little trigger. And then I'm going to do another skip coming up here. So I'm going to break this chest and turn around. Yeah, thanks. And now I'm gonna do some swap hopping that's actually also in the any percent run. This is not the only route through Siena Morena, but it's the most consistent route through it, so it's sort of marathon safe. I'm gonna go into this arena and intentionally die, because when I die in this arena, I get respawn on the outside of it, so yeah, I'm just gonna try to get hit by these things as fast as I possibly can. There is RNG here. These enemies fly around randomly and they shoot you kind of randomly, but 5 hits will kill me. Oh god. Right, there we go. So now I'm gonna spawn on the other side of this, which is good. If I hadn't done that, I would have had to fight through another tough arena. There is a clip you can do, but it's very difficult. And this is gonna take me to another area, another sort of secret area, which is home to the final masterpiece of the game. Actually, no, there's 6 masterpieces, but of the 5 that you can get during normal gameplay, it's the last one. You can probably just see, glancing through this section, how you're supposed to do it, right? I'll catch up on chat in a sec, by the way. You're supposed to jump on these shifting platforms, and it's very, very difficult, but because I have swap hopping, I can just sort of break everything. Although I will still be doing some of this platforming because it's actually faster than doing a series of consecutive swap hops. Oh god. No! Okay, well. This is not going that well. Let me try this. Alright, that's good enough. Apologies, it is a pretty tough section. It's difficult to do optimally, but I'm almost done. So you just sort of swap hop over everything. You can again just see how much swap hopping breaks everything. And then this is the 5th masterpiece. There's only one more left, which I'm going to get at the very end of the game. HateCraft42, hey. Good to finally catch you live. I was a caster of a run of Salt and Sanctuary at the Spanish rebroadcast. Nice! That's fantastic. Thanks for doing that. How did the rebroadcast go? I've never rebroadcasted for anyone. To jump back to this commentary for just a minute, if you'll notice, remember one of the first things I did in this run was a select door glitch, right? Well, now I can fly as a chicken. I did a select door glitch, and for almost every single mask piece that I got, I immediately quit out of it because it teleported me somewhere else. For that one, I didn't. The reason being that this game rewards you for getting all of the mask pieces except the last one. It gives your chicken the ability to fly. I'm pretty sure chickens can't actually fly in real life, but I mean, this is a video game, so it's okay. Wait for my stamina to come back. Because I have this chicken fly ability, swap hopping is now obsolete in the run, which is sort of a welcome change. Swap hopping is not an easy trick. So every time I press A, I just get a little flap. So right now, I'm actually putting my controller on the table in order to mash. In a minute here, I'm going to enter an arena, and I'm going to fly up onto the side in order to skip the trigger. So if you're wondering why I flew up on the side, that's why. And then I get to grab Goat Fly, which is the last ability of the game. How am I losing this much time? I think I messed something up. I missed a split. That's why. I'm like, there's no way I lost that much time to it. Alright, so I only lost 16 seconds. Now that I have all the skills, Goat Fly is this. It lets me fly infinitely horizontally. If I play my cards right, which I did there as well, it lets me get something called a Hyperfly, which lets me keep my super fast speed, but I can fly around as a chicken, so I'll be doing that in a whole bunch of different places throughout the run. This sort of reminds me of the part of Ori and the Blind Forest All Cells, which I actually ran at SGDQ 2016. It reminds me of that, sort of the second half of the run, where you have all the skills and you just get to play through the game and get everything. That's what I'm doing now. I have every skill. I even have the ability to fly as a chicken. I just have to go through the rest of the run and grab everything as optimally as I possibly can. The rebroadcast was nice. Technical issues here and there as usual, but everything was great. Nice. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad it went well. I'm going to submit this thing to SGDQ. Here's another example of a Hyperfly, by the way. I'm also quickly approaching another boss fight. Javier Jaguar. I think his name's actually Jaguar Javier, or I usually just call him Puma Man. He is one of the most random individual sections in the game, probably with the exception of Chicken Thief. Because this boss fight, he can be in either the living world or the dead world, and he can have one of 3 different shield colors, and he tends to dodge all over the place. He's super, super random, but I'll give it a shot. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that I'm, 2.5 minutes behind PB, but this has been a pretty solid run, so... Okay, he got that shield. So I'm pretty much just gonna try to, just wail on this guy as much as I can. He's gonna... Oh, God. He's gonna probably dodge all over the place and be a general jerk, but I'll try to keep hitting him. There, he just switched dimensions on me. Okay, that was an incredibly good fight. That's not Rainbow, but that was an incredibly good fight. The thing about that boss fight, it's apart from all the normal randomness. No, that is Rainbow. Never mind. Apart from all the normal randomness, when you kill him, he has to very slowly crawl back to the middle. So if you can kill him in the middle, then you're just in really, really good shape. So I happened to kill him exactly in the middle. That was really, really lucky. Sometimes you can't, because he just dodges away from you at the last moment or something, but I got lucky. So now I get to do desert cleanup, which means I'll be going back through this area and just getting everything that I missed, using all my fancy new skills to the best of my ability. It's nice to get a rainbow split there. Rainbow splits feel good. This will probably be another donation time. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I need to be careful. I think I can damage boost one more time, but I'm not going to. The first time I came through this maze, I was able... I probably could have made that, whatever. The first time I went through that maze, I only had enough health to damage boost once, but now I have more health. So there's another damage boost, and we get to do sort of a swag dodge in a minute, so check this out. Let's see if I can get it. Got it, nice. Here's another hyperfly. Again, I'll be hyperflying all over the place because it's so fast. I'll be doing that just as much as my tiny chicken self possibly can. These chupacabras can kind of cause problems. I have to go underground here and grab a chest and then come back out. And ideally when I come back out of here, I'm going to be able to start up a hyperfly almost immediately. But sometimes the chupacabras decide to just shoot me with their little projectiles over and over again. We'll see. Yep, there's one. We'll see what they do this time. Nope. Okay, this should be fine. Should be fine, so I'll just wait just a moment and then go. Okay. So I'm going to try to gain a bunch of height here and... Oh, crap, so close. If you do that properly, you can break that chest open while keeping your hyperfly, but I accidentally missed it by just a hair. That's okay, though. Not too bad. Hatecraft, yeah, this game is fantastic. It's one of my favorite speed games I've ever speed gamed. The end of Desert Cleanup here is coming up pretty quickly. I don't think I'm going to save time here because of that missed hyperfly, but we'll find out. I don't remember whether I got it on my PB. There's also, oh, there's a really small thing that I forgot to mention. It's sort of out of place now, but there's one small piece of movement tech that I forgot to mention at the start of the run, and that's that I run slowly. I run slower when I'm on a slope as opposed to on flat ground. Oh god, missed it. Please. Yeah, that's a time loss. That's okay. I run slower on slopes, so whenever I'm on a slope, I'll try to jump over it. Hatecraft, thank you for the host. I appreciate it. This is Temple of War, an area that is skipped entirely in any percent. It's home of Flameface, a boss that we will still be skipping. But I do have to come here since it's 100%, as opposed to some of the other areas where... Oh god, I hate it when he does that. This guy gains hyper armor when he does that. Stop that. I'm trying a kind of infinite attack sequence on these guys, and it's very, very difficult to do, especially because there's so much randomness in these guys' movements. You know, you can see they just sort of dodged out of the way about 100 times. But to finish my thought, as opposed to some of the other sections where I had to revisit them multiple times, I'm going to be completing the Temple of War just in one go while I'm here in this area. You're gonna see me try to do hyperflies wherever I can. Obviously, just like any area, try to optimize my movement. For example, I can hit that chest by kicking it through the side. Right here, I just landed on ground, and this green goop will teleport me back, so I'm gonna try to not touch the ground. Yep, so now I can dodge out of it, and I get teleported back over there. Small time save. Okay. In this arena, we get introduced to these, I don't know what they're called, big giant bobble things. These things have a countdown. You can see it starts at 10 seconds. If their countdown runs out, then they blow up and do a huge amount of damage, to the point where I think it actually kills me in one hit. Here's another hyperfly. Alright, I have to go down here first. This area is also, like I said, you skip it entirely in any percent, so it's kind of cool because, I mean, I'm used to it now. Oh, God. I'm used to it now, but coming from any percent when I was learning this run, like, a lot of parts were sort of very familiar to me, but this part is totally different. Okay, that was a mistake. Actually, no, it wasn't. That's fine. So I'll be using my hyperflies, I'll be using my... Oh, God, that's not what I wanted to do. Crap. I'll be using my hyperflies wherever I can... How does it do that? Okay, sort of suboptimal movement here. I'll try to clean it up as I go. This would probably be another donation spot at GDQ. If it gets in. Nice. Earlier in this run, swap hopping was the glitch that broke everything. Now everything is broken because of this chicken fly, which is not a glitch, but it does break the game in similar ways. Oh god, touching any of those little spikes is insta-death, by the way, so that part's always a little bit nerve-wracking, and that will not be the last time that we see those insta-death spikes. Little conveyor belt of death. Here's a cool arena. Remember that the spawns are always, oh god, predetermined. So I can just do a little infinite attack cycle here and take them out immediately. Here, drop over here. Are we? Nice. What else? What else have I missed from a commentary perspective? Oh, this part's really, really cool. In a minute, you're going to see a camera glitch. So I'm going to fly off of this. I'll fly straight through a bunch of enemies. But then on the way back, if I try to fly past them normally, I'll take damage and it messes everything up. So you're going to see a camera glitch, which is consistent. I just have to do a fly off the wall at the correct spot. And the glitch part of it should be pretty obvious. Yeah, that should do it. Yep, there we go. You can see the camera stays locked in place. And then I get to fly all the way over here. And then do this arena. For a lot of these arenas, they sort of start to become more complex as you go. So whereas before I was just sort of, you know, killing everything without thinking too much about it, now I have to take out different shield colors, so I can try to group up enemies as much as possible. Oh god, sorry, the game just... That's the second time it's done that. That's so bizarre. Again, that's unlucky. Ordinarily, when you hit enemies, they can't do too much to you, but those enemies gain hyper armor, which means that I can't break their poise right when they do that. And this would be another donation spot on the run. This arena is one of the rare examples of sort of an auto-scrolled arena. Ordinarily, every arena has waves of enemies, but as soon as I take out the first wave, the next wave will spawn, so it's in my best interest to kill everything as fast as I can. On this one, though, these guys, there's 5 of these big blue guys, and they spawn on a timer from the beginning of the arena, no matter how fast I kill them. Ah, crap. Did that a little bit early. This one's extremely precise. We'll see if I can get it. Nice. I'm not sure why the graphical glitches happened twice today. I have seen it before, but I've never seen it at these points in the runs. It happens in the end credits occasionally, but that's about it. Okay, please, grab the thing. There we go. But that was kind of odd. My fly just got kind of killed out of nowhere. No worries, though. That platform, or that chest there, I could have broken through the floor using an uppercut, but I wanted to save my, crap. I wanted to save my stamina. So I'm just gonna wait. Please don't hit me. Oh god, that was close. Stamina, there we go. Alright, I needed my stamina to come back a little bit. And now we are almost done with the Temple of War. This is another auto-scroller section, so another potential donation spot. And I just have to not touch any of these conveyor belts or spikes. Remember that they are insta-kill. And I just have to work my way through. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've missed from a commentary perspective. This section, by the way, is not free. Like, I very rarely have issues with it, but you know, it's scary because it is insta-kill. And then here is a boss fight. Just kidding, it skips. Tough boss fight. So only one more chest to get, and then we will be saying goodbye to the Temple of War forever. And that spawns me back in the Chicken Dojo, which remember I mentioned we'd be coming back to. The first time you come here is required. The other times, I'm sort of going to be doing a whole series of combo chicken things. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to come back to the combo chicken basically every time you get a new skill to learn how to use it. But because that's slow, I'm just going to do all of them at once. And these combos are not easy by any means. Some of them are, like some of these early ones are, but they get very, very finicky. There we go, good. This has been perfect so far. I think there's 4 sets I have to do. There's that, okay. I have to wait for him to get up on that one, so we do this, roll, jump, X. Good. Okay, see now I have to redo the whole arena. Unfortunately, based on the exact position I hit him, he sort of flew in the wrong direction. Good. Okay, only one more set. Only one more set. These combos are not as easy as they might appear, by the way. And the game tends to be just a little bit finicky about exactly when it gives it to you as well. Good. One more. Ah, crap. Let's try that again. No, that's not right. Up. X, X, X. This way. Jump. Almost. Almost. That was really close. Oh my god, it gave it to me. I can't believe it. That was pretty lucky, but I'll take it. So after all that, we accidentally kill Poncho. It's really sad. But we're almost done. This is probably going to be Rainbow. Yeah, nice. Okay, so, oops, wrong direction. So now I need to go do forest cleanup. Before I do that, I need to head back towards the Temple of Rain. And even though the Temple of Rain is to my left, it's faster to fly off to the right in order to do this goat fly. Tara's now hosting. Holy crap. Thank you, Tara. My goodness. What's up, dude? How's it going? So I grab that chest, and then I'm just going to go teleport to forest, and then go clean up the forest. Hey, Roos. Oh, God. Because you hosted me, I forgot to press A, you monsters. Hey, Bob. Oh, my God. It's the same thing from the other day. Dude, you guys caught me at a good time. I'm approaching the end of the run, actually. Tara, how did your stream go? This movement in this next section also looks really, really cool, by the way. It's difficult to do, actually, but I'll try my best. I want to be about there. Good. Good. Then we go over here and land on this thing. Break that through the wall. Good. Good, good, good. Hey, Richard. Hey, Hydra. Thank you for the good luck. I'm unfortunately, you know, I killed my PB potential, but this has still been a pretty solid run, and I've been commentating it, so... By the way, here's another swag dodge. This has been pretty solid so far. As you can see, the movement through here is kind of complicated. I kind of have to do all kinds of crazy hyperflies and stuff. Oh god, wait a minute. I can't look at the screen. Grover, thanks for the follow, dude. How's it going? Got a bunch of runs on good pace at Feather, but killed them. Oh well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you had a good stream. Okay, almost done with Forest. Not much more to go. Let me grab this little Chesterino down here. And back up here. Grab that. Bam! And now we get to go to the final dungeon of the game, Grand Temple. Dude, 100% is neat AF. It's fantastic, actually. Oh god, that's not the way I meant to go. This is fine. Grover, don't worry about it. I've done that with people as well. So, Tara, thank you again for the host. For anyone new, this is Guacamelee. I won't go through my full commentary again because I don't have time. But it's a Metroidvania. If you've never seen it before, it's the game I started speedrunning after Ori. This is Grand Temple, the final dungeon, and it's actually rather complicated. Right off the bat, good. I have to do a series of specific bits of movement. I have to do a series of specific bits of movement. Ow, jerk. No, please, no. In order to skip a bunch of save triggers, because I'm going to be doing a skip all the way up to the top of the whole area. Good. So right now I have to be very careful that I run to the left side of the arena and I stay at chicken. I really hope that didn't trigger. If it did, it's okay. So yeah, every time you see me finish an arena here, you might see me do some movement that looks strange, but trust me, there is a reason for all of it. Okay, that's weird. That's a little glitch that can happen. Nothing I can do about it. Oh crap, I was in the wrong dimension. Stop hitting me with your swords. Sort of the gimmick of this arena is that there's this death zone off to the left, so I just have to hit everything off into the death zone as quickly as I can. Spawn. What are you doing? No! Okay, these guys are trolling me. I'm getting trolled. Okay, in this arena, I have to turn into a chicken, and I'm going to wait for 3 seconds at the end in order to make sure that I avoid a loading trigger. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be losing time here, but this has not been so bad. And the reason why I have to do all these super specific movements... By the way, my objective here is to get to the top of the temple and beat the final boss, so just so you have some concept of what it is I'm actually doing in this crazy place. I'll just fly over all these enemies, and then I'll fly over some more enemies, but yeah, like I mentioned, I have to do a bunch of pretty specific movement. Really? I missed it? There we go. In order to avoid load triggers. So that I can do a warp 5, 6. So I'm gonna buy something from this without activating the checkpoint, quit the game, which is gonna spawn me in Santa Lucita. Hey Lucy. And now I'm gonna do a select door glitch, and fingers crossed, bam, we're at the top of the Grand Temple. Now, unfortunately, I can't go straight to the final boss. I have to go back and work my way through the rest of the dungeon in order to... Oh, crap. Son of a... No! Oh, okay, this is fine. This has never been more fine. Oh, God. Send help! Jeez. Okay, I have to go back through the temple in order to get everything. That arena I just was in is sort of unique in that all the enemies die in one hit, but there's these really annoying lightning enemies, and I have to take them out immediately, or else they will hit me with their electricity and just cause all kinds of problems. So I took them out. I have to wait for this guy to kill me. That's fine. Hey, boy. Thank you. Okay. I meant to skip that arena. I'm not sure why it didn't work. That's fine, though. It's fine. Do some more hyperflies. Okay, now I need to break 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And now this is one of the toughest spots in the game to do cleanly. I'm going to try to do it correctly. We'll see how it goes. The whole point here is that I'm trying to get through this without... Good, first time I've ever gotten that. I tried to get through that whole section without touching the ground so that I could teleport back out rather than having to go through the slow way. Okay, so I need to go off to the left. I'm going to do another hyper fly immediately. Hey, Lofus, thank you. Oh, God, what did I just hit? No! Oh, God, no. Please. Good. Okay. So yeah, the movement, as always, involves lots of different kinds of crazy flying. It involves swapping between dimensions. It's actually rather difficult. Go. Although it would be more difficult if I didn't have the ability to fly as a chicken. My God. Bob, please. No, off the wall, off the wall. We don't have time to play Spider-Man. We're trying to save the princess. Okay. So here's another hyperfly that I'll be trying to hold, and then I drop here. At least I'm not forgetting the roof for once. Oh wait, no, I want to keep going down. Now we need to go off to the right, and then drop here. Oh wait, no. This, by the way, is the most random arena in the game. Remember that one of the first things I mentioned in the run is that all of these arenas have RNG on individual enemies but are consistent in the enemy spawns. This one is different. You have a ton of Aluxes that spawn, and they're super random, and if I get hit, I get knocked down, and I get up again. They're never going to keep me down. So, yeah. I mean, you can see how much the RNG comes into play here. I'm just trying to take them out as fast as I possibly can. Anyway, got through it. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. There's no time. The movement is super fun, though, because I do have access to all my abilities and everything. So it's just a matter of trying to, you know, cut corners and just optimize as much as I possibly can. Like, even just playing through it now, I'm finding little ways to optimize it, you know? Drop. I'll try to take these guys out quickly through another infinite attack. Assuming they cooperate. Sometimes these guys like to dodge the second they hit the ground. Die. And now I need to go off to the left. I think the most difficult hyperfly in the game is coming up, though, so that's kind of cool. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Although this is the swaggiest dodge in the game, so that's fun. That's very, very fun. We are almost done. There's not much left in this temple. So let me do the hyperfly. Oh, crap. See, I have to just get to the tiny door. Not too big of a time loss. But I'm going to lose time overall in the Grand Temple. So now I'm just going to mash A until I break my A button. At least I can read chat right now, because I just have to go straight up. Faster. Not spamming fast enough. This is where I need to cheat and turn on turbo. Okay, so that's that. And now, moment of truth. I am at 100%, top right, 100%. And now I get to go fight the final boss of the game, Kalaka. He's a big wuss. I'm not too worried. Okay. So Kalaka is a 2-phase fight. Jaguar, when I faced him, was 1 phase, and then the first boss fight that I did, Shitabe, that lady, she was 3 phases. This one's 2 phases. The first one has Kalaka spawning at what might appear to be random with no warning, but the ways that he spawns are pretty consistent, although he can still have random shield colors and such. So, for this first phase, we tend to label our performance on the fights in terms of the number of wheels on a bicycle or something. So, like, it's possible to unicycle this guy. I usually tricycle him. Crap. Okay, he's almost dead. There he is. Alright, so I got a quadsicle. I got an ATV. Yeah. So that fight was an ATV. Or just a, you know, normal car. That fight was a car, and now we're on to the second phase. Where he's going to turn into a giant monster. This phase is actually easier than the first phase, in my opinion. Mostly because I practiced it more. I did it blindfolded last summer. Just like the first phase, he has random shield colors, but his attacks are extremely predictable. You just sort of hit him over and over until he's dead. You can see his health bar at the top. In any percent, you get killed by one hit. So I can survive hits now. I'm still going to try to not get hit, though. Alright, and that's the fight. It's that fast. Tetracycle, that's the one. Yes, I got a new car. So that's the fights. So the run is now over. Time is not called yet. Time is called when this middle platform here falls to the ground, and then I press Y on the princess. Thanks, Dictator. And this is the 6th and final mask piece. When you see it, it's going to play a special sound effect, and it actually changes the ending. So if you've never seen this game before, you won't, you know, appreciate that the ending is different, but trust me that it is. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Vula, Bob, Roos, Lucy, Abby, everyone. Guac Dance. Actually, my Guac Dance has become more sophisticated. Now I can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. Okay. And time. Look at that sick red split. It's red because it was such a good run. But yeah, the ending is really sad because the princess is dead. She was killed by Kalaka, and Juan's gonna have to live the rest of his life alone and sad. Or is he? Through the magic of the mask, something wonderful will happen. I feel like I'm narrating a terrible TV show. You know what? You're right. Red is the color of solidarity on International Women's Day. That's why I didn't PB. It because of solidarity with women. You're welcome, all women. I definitely helped you somehow. But yeah, you revive the princess, and it's actually cool. The credit sequence, if you've never seen this before, this is going to be full spoilers, but I guess at the point where you're watching a speedrun, spoilers go out the window. I really like what they did. This game, the credit sequence is the same as the bad ending, but ordinarily you just see Juan sort of living his life, doing all these things. And the credit sequence here is basically the same, except that now the princess is in all the pictures. It's really, really cool. Oh, is male and female luchador different? No. They function exactly the same. Yeah, what Vuligen said. It's like a half-second faster to access one of the... it's like a half-second faster to access the female version than the male version in the menu. It's fewer ticks away. So that's why you play the whole game as female Juan. You don't have to get 100% to get this ending, do you? No, and actually at SGDQ, I ran any percent in 2014, and I think Vula, you may have helped commentate this. The good ending was run. Good ending is what you're looking at here, but to get good ending, you only need to get the 5 masked pieces. 100% is more than that, because you also need all of the quests and all of the chests, and all skills. So no, good ending is not the same as 100%, but 100% does have the good ending in it. Yeah, Hydra, that's correct. Yeah, I hadn't 100%ed it either up until this point, but this is Guacamelee 100%. Planning to submit it to SGDQ, so that's the run.